Who's got a pet? Who's got a pet? Who's got a pet? Anybody got a pet? You got a pet. What do you got? Dog. Cool, cool. Anybody else? Who's got a pet? What do you got? A dog. Cool. What do you got?
A turtle.
A turtle. Nice. Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? A dog. Okay, a dog. Okay, I wanted a pet. When I was a kid, I wanted a pet. I wanted one so badly. We had a small yard in front of our house, green grass. And in that little patch of green grass, we had this little garter snake. Little tiny guy, green and red, no teeth, just going around. I wanted that thing as a pet. I brought it to my mom, and she looked at me and said, "Are you crazy? There's no way you're bringing a snake into the house." And I went, "Why? It just doesn't do anything. You know, we can stay outside if that's all he does, because you're not responsible enough." I mean, if you're responsible, you know what responsible is? It's taking care of something, taking care of a pet, taking care of a person, taking care of a friend. It means taking care of them. But she said I wasn't responsible, that I couldn't have the responsibility of, like if I had a dog, you got to take the dog out. At least in Winnipeg, we keep him in the house sometimes. So you got to walk the dog, you got to feed the dog, you got to water the dog, you got to let the dog out for a poop. You know, that's responsible. And I wanted to show her that I was responsible. And I was just a little kid, but I was going to teach her that I was responsible because I was going to train my pencil. Yeah, well, I used it like a magic wand, and it was kind of cool. I was going to show her that, in fact, I would teach it some magic. No, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. My pencil would actually learn how to do a trick. I was going to actually teach it to float to the air. But I was going to do it on command. It would never do it unless I said to rise. It would always listen. It would always listen. It would only do it when I asked it to do it. Okay, so what had happened? Being a little sticky, okay? Now, I won't do it unless I tell it to do it. Sometimes it gets a little ramba. All right. We want not cooperating right now. I need someone to help me. I need someone to help me. Where we got somebody to help me? Come on. I want somebody to help me. Would you help me? Come on up. Give me a big hand. All right. Stella! You know how famous that name is? Stella! It's in a very old play. But don't worry about that. So, Stella, what is your favorite color? Red! Perfect! Ha! Stella, what is your favorite animal in the world? A dog. How about a worm? Snake. Dog. Okay. Dog. Worm to dog. Okay, sometimes we have trouble doing stuff. Oh, can you pick that up, please? Carefully. Thank you. Just point it this way. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. So, sometimes you can't do stuff. Sometimes you got to rely on friends, and sometimes you need some technology. Do you guys know what an app is? Yeah, like music apps. An app just means an application, something that helps you. Sometimes it's a teacher, sometimes it's a parent, sometimes it's a friend, and sometimes it's technology. This is invented solely for blowing up balloons. I'm not kidding. It's an app for balloons. Stella, hold on to that. Good. Stella! What's your favorite animal? Dog. What's your favorite color? Red. Perfect. colorblind. All right. Stella, what's your favorite color? Red. Okay. I'm not gonna get fooled that time. I'm gonna watch. Worm! Pregnant worm. Okay, drum roll, dog. Here we go, dog. Drum roll, go! But it is a trained dog. Watch. Sit! Gets better. Roll over. Play dead. Over. Okay. Stella! Stop! Don't stomp on that balloon! Jump on that balloon! Stella! Yell at that balloon! Did you say rough? Yell at the balloon! Ah! You're laughing at that balloon! Okay, Stella! Say yellow! Yell at it! Go! Stupid! Dummy! Ugly! Shriveled up! Yellow thing! Dumb! That's what it feels like to be bullied! That's what it feels like. You feel like crap! You're shriveled up, you feel like... I'm 62 years old. I remember every single time someone yelled, screamed, insulted, hurt me, pushed me downstairs, stabbed me. I remember that. I remember that forever. Could you give me this? Thank you. I remember every single time because I relived it in my head. And the only thing that made me survive was the knowledge of my self-worth and self-esteem, that I felt good about myself no matter what anyone else said about me. I was true to myself. That I knew it was my self-love, that was my feelings that would sustain me. And then I was lucky enough, like I said, I had magic and I had friends. I could go to friends. I did have some friends. It wasn't very many people who were really bullying, but it was enough and so bad that I got so depressed about it. But every time I did that, if I talked about it, if I went to someone and I started expressing my feelings, I got that out, I felt better. It was like a pressure relief valve. Now I know, now, because I'm older, what to do. I know now that it's temporary. That things can get better. That you can feel good about yourself. Thank you very much. Give her a big round of applause.